Hello, Ark here. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to be doing something a little different today. I'm going to be doing a character creation video for the tabletop role-playing game Dropship. Here is the developer's website here, blackwallgames.com. Click over to the store. You're going to see Dropship. It is a future sci-fi game about humans fighting aliens. And you'll also see Horde Wars, fantasy game, medieval fantasy, fighting like monsters and dragons and stuff like that. If you go down here, you will also see, you might not want to miss, it has a free little map to play, and also free character sheet and free sample characters, if you'd be interested in those. But today I'm also going to be showing off my Excel sheet that I've made for Dropship. And we'll jump right into character creation here. So first thing, let's see, my character's name is going to be Jackson. And step number one is picking your species. Now, I prefer race and class over species and careers, but the game system does say species and careers, and hit points, and I say health, so you don't get confused about that. And I'm going to be creating my first character that I played in the game, which is a heavy worlder, breacher, military police, who has this ability that I chose to carry a two-handed weapon in one hand, so that he can walk around with his shield and like a full-size weapon in his other arm and just walk around blocking shots and mowing down aliens. Aliens are trying to wipe out humanity. But first step, putting species in here. Heavy worlder, and gain everything that the heavy worlder starts with. So first thing is the attributes. I'm going to start off with 3 reflexes. Now, the other 3 that we can assign can be like 1, 1, 1, or it can be 2, 1, or it can be 3. I went with 3 reflexes and 3 fitness. Then you get to pick any 2 languages. Now I kept getting this confused with where it shows on here. Now, your character is going to get 2 plus your language skill for languages. So this does not stack with what it mentions here. My character is not going to have a language skill, so he's only going to start with 2. So he's going to start with English, and Russian. Then his land speed is going to be 6 spaces. He is going to have a natural weapon of D6. Now, a lot of these spaces you start typing, or you can use the drop down to pick what you need. These are the passive abilities. So it's going to go in here, natural weapon, auto-filled, and put in 1d6 because that's different than the 1d4. Trample ability, that's going to make my guy do extra damage if he moves in a straight line on his turn. High G Homeworld allows him to double his athletic skill in certain situations and having a longer jump distance. Now, average lifespan, don't have to worry about that in character creation, but basically your character can die of old age because flying through space still takes a long time. It can take a month to several months to get where you're going. So keeping track of age will be important later on. Now, next step is picking. Okay, well, actually, here it says pick your hit points. I was doing that later. Go ahead and update that because hit points is 18 plus your fitness attribute and also plus your level later on in the game. Now, picking careers, I picked breacher and military police. Put that in here. Now, you start with all the starting equipment and skills of both classes and abilities. So first, his skills, athletics. Now, each starting skill is only going to start with a +2. And combat, in one of your choice, which I went with engineering, because I wanted to be, that is a skill that gets used for throwing grenades and firing off launchers. And so I wanted to be able to do that. Now, The other passive abilities here: first man in, unyielding. That allows the breacher to get through doors easier, and also makes him ignore all damage. Well, absorb all damage. Technically, it's an absorption ability on the first round of combat, which is really awesome. So if he gets in, he will ignore all the damage right away, unless it ignores absorption. Now down at maneuvers, I'll put in Havoc and ignore the equipment until later. Go over to the military police and do the same for the military police. Now, if a skill is redundant, you get to choose another skill. So I'm going to skip over to legal. And then I would have two skills of my choice now because combat is redundant. So I pick intuition and investigate. That way, maybe my guy will be able to like see traps or maybe hidden enemies, stuff like that. Now, I go down to the military police's passive abilities and other abilities. So lawman, it gives him a bonus to his investigate on like criminal type stuff. Riot police is awesome because it gives him an armor boost when using a shield and also helps him protect allies that are next to him. And nobody move, which is a really awesome ability where if you use it until the end of the MP's next turn, he can shoot any enemy that's close to him that moves. And you don't have to worry about capstones. That's later at like 5th and 9th level. Those are like, kind of high level abilities. They only get a couple of per character. Okay, now we're going to go with fighting styles. Now, fighting styles, you get to pick 2 plus your combat modifier. So this character is going to get 4. And you choose out of here. We're going to skip languages because we already did that. Now, I'm going to go with what this character starts with, which is shotguns, axes, and also go with rifles because I want him to have a rifle later. And the last one, I haven't really been great at deciding what I think the last one should be. I think it should either be shields or maybe unarmed. I'm just gonna go with shields. I don't know if the character is ever gonna attack anybody with a shield, but you never know. Now the next thing is, and of course, here's the full list of languages and alien languages here. Probably pick an alien language would probably be a good idea, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe if I had more language skill, I would do that, but not with this character. Now, starting equipment. You are going to pick the starting equipment of one of the careers you picked, and also keep in mind this is where it says how many items your locker holds. Yeah, that'll be important later too. Now, this might be a little intimidating, but if you scroll over to the right, this is the inventory tracker. Oh, gosh, this whole time I left that thing up there. There we go. How embarrassing. So, again, let's start off, not forget credits. Type in credits, goes over there. Now, over here, we will do the names of the items: tactical armor, combat axe, breacher shotgun, shells, flashbang grenades, flechette grenades. Now, 2 of those, put that in the quantity column. Earpiece, mild painkillers, breaching ram, canteen, ID, nutrition bars, fatigues, bandolier and belt pouch. And important thing to do here is one, this is just for this Excel sheet, obviously, is to click on this to show your character has equipped it. And then you can copy and paste all the way down. And also here, to organize it all in the equipment list, descriptions, which I'll show in a minute, go and show what type of item all these are. So armor, weapon, ammo, put grenades under weapons. Now other equipment, other equipment, other equipment, other equipment, other equipment, other equipment, other outfits, other equipment, other equipment. And it also shows in here spare equipment, metals, attachments, implants. I believe that's all of them. That's important because that organizes everything down here. This shows all the descriptions of the character abilities, the passives, the actions, maneuvers, features, perks, and then inventory will organize by armor, weapon, ammo, outfit, implant, other equipment, and then it'll show locker. So if I clicked spare equipment, or if I unchecked this, it would show up under locker. Now my guy's not carrying it. My guy's carrying it, it'll pop back up to up here. There we go. Now, what is next? Pick a feature. Now again, remember, I said my guy wanted to carry like a full-size weapon, like a shotgun or rifle in one hand, the shield in the other. So that means I need the heavy-handed feature. I'm going to go over here, type in heavy-handed with features. And lastly is calculate your rank. 2 pages after character creation is going to show the ranks. Now some careers are going to say here that you start with a higher rank, and also there's some features. But if your character doesn't have any of that, they're going to start out with, this is a Marine. He's definitely not in the Navy, so he's going to be a private. Privates start out with 100 credits a month. We'll put private in front of his name up here. Then I will do buying, purchasing stuff. Like I said, I want my guy to be able to carry a shield, so he's going to have to buy that shield, equip it, and also I went with a breacher because I kind of want this guy to be more like combat oriented. The military police does start with some cool things like an EOD uniform, which is kind of expensive, a rebreather, which is kind of expensive. But the weapons are more expensive than those things. And I really wanted to be able to start off with a shotgun so that he could have like a shotgun in one hand and the shield in the other. So I went with starting with the breacher. So that means I needed to purchase the right shield, which is only 5 credits. But also the rebreather would be nice because that's 25. I'll get to that in a second over here. Now, you'll notice my guy started with a bandolier and a belt pouch, but not a backpack. Now your character can start with 3 items that increase carrying capacity, or can benefit from 3 items at a time that increase carrying capacity. Since he has a bandolier and belt pouch, he needs a backpack. So that'll be another 5 credits. It's good to have a flashlight or wrist lamp if your guy doesn't have some other way of seeing in the dark. They're the same thing. I just go with a wrist lamp because I think that's kind of cool. And I go with a rebreather, like I was saying. It'd be kind of nice to have one of those because it costs 25. But add all that up, I believe is 37. Also, I'll go with 2 boxes of shells. Those cost 1 each. So that's going to be 38. So I go over here, make this into a formula, go minus 38. I have 12 credits left. So I guess if I wanted, it shows... Why does it show I'm over capacity? Did I not? Oh, I need to show this as equipped. There we go. That automatically calculates the carrying capacity. I guess I didn't really get into that. That's one of the steps here because my Excel sheet does it for me. But carrying capacity is 8 plus the character's fitness, which is 3. So normally it'd only be like 11 plus, well, I think the bandolier, belt pouch, and backpack is 9. So normally it'd only be like 20. It wouldn't be 20, 22. So I think without the fitness, you could only get up to like 22 starting off. But my guy's at 25. He's got his, how much he's carrying updated here. Kind of seems like a lot. I thought it would be like 19. I hope that's right. Here, I can modify it in case there's something in the game that I don't know about that might modify it later. And then I think it's just filling in the character sheet and also determining character age. Now, again, character age is important. Oh, these add +4, not +2. I was thinking they had +2. Okay, that's why. I was hoping I wasn't getting that wrong. Now, also in this Excel sheet, it's kind of handy if you right-click, go Edit Note, copy this formula, double-click on the cell and paste it. It will come up with a random character age. Then you have to copy and paste value. I don't know why it does that. It shouldn't do that. It randomizes it again before pasting. It's not supposed to do that. Oh well. I can't really do anything about that. Do the same thing here for birthday. Gonna make a random birthday. See, I didn't do it that time. What was my guy gonna start at? Was he like 21? Or was that the character before? But 23. Now, I also put some handy stuff in here to keep track of whether your character is paid out or not and the current age. So if you do something like add days, it'll calculate how long he's been in service. Like that's when your character starts getting paid in the military. And add months. Now you notice that turned red. That's because this helps keep track of whether the character's been paid or not. If you update this to say, okay, I've been paid out for 5 months, go here, plus 500. Then you say, okay, yeah, great, my character's all paid up. But let me put that all back to normal because obviously he has not. And we'll get through. These are also drop-down menus to help fill in the character sheet. Tactical armor. What did he start off with? Breacher shotgun. Also type in and just press enter. Combat axe. Right shield. All these auto-populate. Also start off with fill in your defense up here. The tactical armor has 10. Now, this is the way I like to show shields or armor bonuses, as I put it in parentheses afterwards. So if he's using the shield or benefits from the shield, he actually has 12. And what else? And I believe that is everything. You get to see all the descriptions of all of his abilities and weapons and items and all that. There's one thing I forgot. Probably any veteran of the game might have been able to pick this up. Or anybody who's read the rules, perhaps, if you're really good at it. One outfit, now since they all weigh the same, it doesn't matter which one, does not count towards your carrying capacity. So if I click this here, it'll automatically reduce down. That's why I was thinking earlier, like, isn't that supposed to be 19 something? That's why. Because I forgot to do that. Also, Again, more of my Excel sheet stuff. If I had implants to install, I could do that. Metals, I could put them in here as well. These all have drop downs. And that is it for character creation for Dropship. Thanks for watching my video. Again, here's the website. Great game. I mean, hey, the PDF is 20 bucks. And that's an amazing price. You know, you can pretty much just hop right into the game and play it right away. And check out the rules. Also, again, scratch and dent. I bought one of these if they're still available for you, and mine barely had like a noticeable defect on it. Of course, some might be different, but that's an awesome price there for a really cheap soft cover if you prefer or also want the physical version. Again, thanks for checking out my video. I hope you do amazing. Until I see you again.